Okay, so you're looking at the Logitech Z623, the THX-certified powerhouse you keep seeing everywhere. This is the honest review that tackles the real problems nobody is talking about. For the best price, click the link in the description. But here's what surprised me. After testing these for weeks, I found issues that make them a hard recommendation for most people. Therefore, if you're about to spend $170 on these speakers, you absolutely need to watch this first. Let's dive into the good stuff first, because it's important to understand why these are even popular. The headline feature is that THX certification. It sounds impressive, right? THX is the company founded by George Lucas to ensure movie theater sound quality. Having that logo on your desk feels legit. And the power ratings are massive, 400 watts peak, 200 watts RMS. The subwoofer alone claims 130 watts. On paper, this is a monster. The sound at its best can be huge. The bass from that downward-firing subwoofer can physically shake your room, which is fun for about 5 minutes of a Michael Bay movie. It's like having a mini earthquake simulator under your desk. The connectivity is also great. You've got two 3.5mm inputs and one RCA input, so you can plug in your PC, your phone, and a game console all at once and switch between them with the dial. That's genuinely useful. And the design is simple, black, and unassuming. The satellites are decently sized but not obnoxious. For the price, you're getting a lot of hardware. But here is the first major problem, and it's the reason for this video's title. The sound signature is a mess. THX certification does not mean balanced or accurate. It often means loud and cinematic. The Z623 takes this and runs with it straight into Mud City. The bass is overwhelmingly bloated. It's not tight, punchy bass. It's a boomy, one-note rumble that smothers the mid-range. Therefore, vocals in music and dialogue in movies get lost. You'll be watching a show and constantly reaching for the remote to turn up the volume when people are talking, only to have your windows rattle when an action scene hits. It's an exhausting listening experience. The mid-range, where most of the important audio information lives, is hollowed out. It's like the sound engineers built a magnificent bass cathedral and then remembered they needed to add some speakers for the higher frequencies as an afterthought. Let's talk about those satellite speakers. They house the 35-watt amps for the mids and highs, but they lack clarity and detail. Highs are harsh and sibilant at higher volumes. Listening to cymbals or hi-hats can be fatiguing. It's a classic case of a system designed for impact, not for fidelity. If you're a gamer who just wants explosions to be loud, maybe this is fine. But for anyone who appreciates music, it's a real struggle. I tried listening to a well-produced track like Bohemian Rhapsody, and the complex vocal harmonies turned into a muddy soup over a constant, distracting drone. The subwoofer control knob on the right satellite is your only tool to fix this, but turning it down just makes the whole system sound thin, because the satellites can't carry the weight. You're constantly searching for a sweet spot that doesn't really exist. It's like trying to season an oversalted soup by adding more water. You just end up with a bigger bowl of bland, salty soup. Now, the build quality. For $170, you'd expect some decent materials, but the entire system feels incredibly cheap. The satellites are lightweight plastic that resonates at certain frequencies. Tap on them lightly and they sound hollow. The control knobs for volume and bass are plasticky and have a loose, imprecise feel. They don't inspire confidence. The green power LED on the right speaker is comically bright. I'm talking can see it from space bright. It will light up a dark room like a beacon. You will absolutely need to put a piece of tape over it. It's a small thing, but it speaks to a lack of thoughtful design. They focused on the wattage number on the box, not the user experience on the desk. Here's another critical issue: the infamous hiss. Many users report a constant low-level hiss from the satellite speakers whenever the system is powered on, regardless of volume. It's a ground loop or amplifier noise issue. In a quiet room, especially during quiet parts of a movie or game. It's very noticeable and annoying. For a THX-certified system promising studio-quality audio, this is unacceptable. Studio monitors are dead quiet. This is not. It's the audio equivalent of buying a premium car with a constant, faint whistling noise from the dashboard. It ruins the immersion completely. Therefore, if you're sensitive to noise or enjoy quiet, ambient music, this will drive you nuts. Let's address the elephant in the room, the 4.6-star rating on Amazon. How does a product with these problems get such a high rating? It's a combination of factors. First, many buyers are upgrading from tiny, tinny laptop speakers or a basic soundbar. Compared to that, the Z623 sounds like a revelation. The sheer volume and bass are impressive initially. It's the wow factor that leads to a 5-star review after one day. Second, the Logitech brand carries immense trust in the PC peripheral space. People assume quality. But third, and most importantly, most people don't have a critical ear for audio. They want big sound for parties or movies, and the Z623 delivers that blunt force trauma. But that doesn't mean it's good sound. It's like rating a monster truck 5 stars for daily commuting. It's powerful and exciting, but utterly impractical and rough for the actual task. Therefore, who is this speaker system actually for? It's for a very specific user. Someone who wants maximum volume and earth-shaking bass on a budget, and doesn't care about audio accuracy, build quality, or quiet operation. It's for a college dorm room or a garage workshop where subtlety is not a concern. But if you fall into that category, there's another problem: reliability. Dig into the long-term reviews and forum posts, and you'll find a concerning number of reports of speakers failing after a year or two, often with one satellite dying completely. That cheap build quality has a cost. Paying $170 for a system that might not last is a risky proposition. So what's the alternative? This is the resolution. If you have $170 to spend on desktop or bookshelf audio, you have much better options that prioritize sound quality over raw power. Consider a pair of powered studio monitors like the PreSonus Aris 3.5 or the Edifier R1280T. They offer vastly superior clarity, a balanced soundstage, and a flat frequency response, meaning you hear the music or game as it was intended, not through a bass-blurred filter. They won't rattle your fillings loose, but they will reveal details in your media you never knew were there. They're also built better. If you absolutely need a subwoofer, you can often add one later to these systems. You're buying into an ecosystem, not a dead end. The joke is that with the Z623, you're paying for the THX licensing fee and a giant magnet. With studio monitors, you're paying for engineering. Let's recap the problems. Bloated, unbalanced bass that drowns out dialogue and mids, cheap plastic build with a blinding LED, a persistent hissing noise, and questionable long-term reliability. The pros, high power, multiple inputs, and that initial wow factor, are heavily outweighed by these fundamental flaws for anyone seeking a quality listening experience. Therefore, my final verdict is in the title. Don't buy the Logitech Z623. It's a relic of an older philosophy where big numbers sold speakers, not good sound. It's the audio equivalent of putting a spoiler on a minivan. It looks fast on paper, but the driving experience is underwhelming. For the best price on the much better alternatives I mentioned, click the link in the description below.